Hey, good morning and welcome back to Questioning Sense with me, Matt. Hope you guys are well. All is well here, nothing much remarkable going on. Another day off, so another video. What we're going to do today is we're looking at a new perfume to me, and it's a new house. I don't know too much about them, and they are called Fleurs Du Golfe. And the perfume in question is from the Princes Du Golfe collection that they have released. Basically, a friend of mine was speaking, I put a picture of one of these perfumes on Instagram and recommended that I contacted them. So I spoke to Fleurs Du Golfe, and they, they're really good chat, and they sent me a bottle of perfume to have a look at. So that's what we're doing today. I've had it about a week. So it's had a good thorough road test before we commit to the video, so we know a little bit more about it. Now, just a little mention on the house. They are a French house from what I can gather, and all the perfumes are made in France. But the ethos behind it, we've seen this before in other houses, they're taking influences from the East and bringing it, to the rest of the world kind of thing. And they want to sort of highlight and show off, sort of Eastern perfumery and Eastern materials, an Eastern style of perfume, but with that French twist on it to make the perfume. So without further ado, let's have a look at this one. Okay, so the one we're looking at today is called Night Flower, and there's the box it comes in. Presentation is lovely. There you go, it sits in a little golden plinth, and here's the bottle itself. It's a heavy bottle, it's a 50 ml. And as you can see, the perfume has like a kind of a purple hue to it, which is a nice touch. Labelling is all very good. It feels very quality. Okay, it's a heavy bottle. The cap is quite heavy. Not the heaviest. It actually looks a bit heavier than it is, but it's not plasticky or anything like that. It's well made. The sprayers are excellent, and the bottle has this kind of sort of raised indentation on the base of it. It's a little bit almost like a Byredo bottle, but it really is weighty, actually. It's a good quality. I mean, this isn't a cheap perfume at all. This comes in at, I think, 89 euros. So not a cheapie at all. But it's it's a quality, well, the presentation's quality, and the perfume is very good quality as well. So Night Flower is the one they sent me, and I've worn it. Since I've had it, I have to say my wife has worn it to work probably 3 times. So she is very, very keen on this one. Okay, so Night Flower from Fleurs Du Golfe. Another example of my wonderful French pronunciation. I really should be doing better at this kind of thing. This is from a collection called Le Princes Du Golfe, from what I can understand, or Golf Princess. And I believe there's 4 in this particular collection. I think they have more perfumes than that. And this is, I think some of the perfumes they offer are around sort of 60 euros, and this is the more expensive range, which is around the 90 euros. So as this is the only one I've smelt, I can't tell you much about the differences. But this is a beautiful fragrance. As I said, I've had it about a week. My wife has worn it to work, I think 3 times now. She's quite obsessed with it. So what we'll do is I'm wearing it at the moment. We're going to have a little spray now. We'll look at the notes, then we'll talk about the perfume, how it performs, where you can wear it, who can wear it, that kind of thing. So let's give it a spray now. I've got it, as I say, I've been wearing it today, so the dry down's here, and I'll reapply it here. Now, as you can see from there, it's a thick liquid, okay? It's quite a dense liquid when it hits your skin. It's very thick, and it's very sort of resinous. It sort of stays there for a long time too. And it's rather lovely. Now, if we look at the notes, on the top you have mandarin and lychee, so you have this sort of citrus and fruit together. Then in the middle you have tonka bean, and you have white musk, and then on the base you have vanilla. Now, they're very simplistic note listings here. I think there's a lot more going on here, but it is quite, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not an overly complicated perfume at all. It's a nice wear. And it is beautiful. Now, what they've done with the mandarin and the lychee in the opening, you just get this wonderful, it almost feels more like an orange blossom than a mandarin. It's certainly sweet, but it's not overly sweet. And there's a little bit of a freshness here, which is good because, with the base of, with the middle of tonka and with a base of vanilla, you know you're having you're going to get a very creamy sort of perfume. And what you get is a little bit of sharpness from that sort of citric element with the fruitiness of the lychee. Now, lychee is an interesting one for me because I've eaten it quite a few times. Normally, it's my finish of choice in a Chinese restaurant. I don't eat them very often at home. I don't like peeling them. They feel weird on my hands. And I remember as a kid, someone saying, "Oh, it's just like an eyeball." So it's not a fruit I know a lot about. So I couldn't say, yeah, that smells exactly like a lychee, because I don't know, is the honest answer. Because normally when I eat them in the restaurant, they're covered in syrup and other stuff. So it's not, you're never getting a true reflection of what the actual real fruit smells like. But what it is, it's a kind of a rich fruit with this mandarin citrus on top of it. It works really, really well. And it stops everything being too cloying. Now, there is some sweetness in the perfume, but it's not overly sweet. If it was too sweet, I think it just wouldn't be for me. But the tonka is creamy, it's rich. The musk is musk. It's a clean, airy musk. It's not dirty. It's not overly fresh linen either. It's a well-pitched musk for the perfume. And then the vanilla gives it this lovely creamy base that kind of magnifies the tonka. They work together. You'll get, as the perfume opens, you'll get, as I say, that sharp citrus. It almost gives an impression of something like neroli. Now, I'm aware neroli is not pronounced neroli, so please stop writing in, but I'm going to call it neroli because I've always called it neroli. So you get this florally, almost neroli-like citrus blast. It's lovely, and that combination with the richness of the lychee sends this on a journey. As it dries down, which is here, it becomes so creamy. It's almost buttery. I would suspect, I can't say for sure, that they've used a tiny bit of iris or a little bit of orris in there to give it this butteriness that I would normally associate with orris, to be honest. But the transition is nice, and it becomes a very, very pleasant wear. Now, when my wife has road tested this, bearing in mind she's a nurse, she does a very, very long day, when she comes out home from work, she can still smell it on her. So the performance is excellent. It has great longevity. It projects quite well to start off with. It's not a room filler, but it certainly has presence and it kicks out. It's in terms of performance, it's beautiful. I think because of the creamy nature of it, it probably lends itself better for cooler days and possibly a warm evening. I think it will be rather lovely, but I wouldn't wear it in the heat. Even though it has got that little bit of freshness at the top, I don't think this will enjoy being too hot. I think it's one that's going to be great in the autumn. It's a perfect evening out. This is a sort of perfume that I think my wife would really, really like to wear in a glamorous evening. I wear it. It is probably a little bit too feminine, I think, for those that like a masculine fragrance. It is unisex, there's no doubt about it, but it's a unisex perfume with a feminine leaning. So, if you're looking for an alpha male fragrance, it's not going to be this. If you're looking for a beautiful, artistic, clever fragrance that kind of, suits anyone that's confident wearing it, it will be fine. I look at it a little bit like I look at Dior's Bois d'Argent. They're not, don't get me wrong, they don't smell the same at all, but they're the same kind of fragrance. Now, I love Bois d'Argent and I wear that as much as I can. And I think this is going to be another one that I'm going to reach for when I get the urge for it. I think if I was putting a suit on, going out for an evening, that'll be perfect for that. Or I tell you what would be really, really good for is like a cocktail party or something like that. If you're going to a soiree, then it will be a really, really good one for that. I don't think it's going to be one that I would choose necessarily to wear to work. My work wouldn't suit it. But if you worked in an office, you could certainly wear it in an office. It's absolutely ageless. I think the younger thrusters will enjoy wearing it, and I think the more mature fragrance enthusiasts will also really, really like it. So overall, I'm really happy with this. I love the presentation. I think it's a good, long-lasting perfume that's really, really interesting. Despite the fact it's not a complicated, tricky one or challenging wear, it's a really easy one to wear, and I think that's one of its strengths. It's certainly going to be mass appealing. There's nothing in here that you're not going to like. Also, and by that definition, there's nothing in here that's going to offend anyone around you. It's not overly loud, it's not unpleasant, it's not going to, if you're working near someone, if we ever work near someone ever again, after the pandemic maybe, but if you're working near someone, you're not going to upset them. It's not, it's not too strong, but it has got presence. It does last a very long time, and you do pick up on it. So it sits above your skin most of the time. It's only kind of like right at the end of the day. I mean, my wife comes home from work, and that's like, 12 hours after she's left, and it's still noticeable on her. It's not strong, but you can still notice it after 12 hours. So yeah, good performance, in fact, excellent. So there you have it. It's a nice one. I'd like to try more from the house, because this is obviously, one of the more feminine leaning perfumes. I don't know what else they've got in the collection that may suit me. I'm not entirely sure, but it's well worth exploring. I'm not sure if they do samples, but they have got, they've got a website, so have a look on there. I really recommend this as a pretty perfume. It's a nice one if you're happy with a unisex perfume. So there you have it, my take on Night Flower, a rather lovely perfume. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for your time. It's always appreciated, and we shall see you soon on the next video. Cheers, thanks, and bye.